Fuck me. Hi, Fabio. Hey. Yeah, US. Yeah. I all the time for me, like I just know, I know that someone's messaged me on Instagram or something, or you know, something's gonna happen that's like right at the time that I need it, and I'm like, oh, I randomly feel like sitting in front of my PC or something. Like, oh, I feel like going on Instagram. It's like a message from someone immediately. It's like, oh, that's why I felt like going on Instagram. It's such a regular occurrence to me. It's not even a thing. It's like not even a thing for me. It's like, oh. Like being guided to do things based on like what's good right now. Using your thoughts and feelings and ideas seemingly innocuously in order to get you to do something which you wouldn't otherwise do without those thoughts and feelings is extremely normal. Yeah. I'm writing this on a work I intend to develop. The mind tries to stir fear, while the heart wants to keep calm. The mind wants to make things fast. Yeah, I find fear is it's a high vibration energy, which just means like it wants things to happen fast. And it's like next thing when it's activated. Like flipping between like 50 different social media things or something. Like that's why it's kind of nice to align fear more with like you know, I don't know, a bit more love or something, because then it doesn't freak out as much. Like when it's freaking out, it's tough. The mind pressures for results and to achieve things. I'm observing to be on the right vibe to make things happen in the best way. I quite like syncing up things, like you can sync up your like mind to the music or something, and then you can sync up like your body to the music, and you can also sync up like your perception to the music. You know, you can kind of like let things be like non-discordant. I feel like that's pretty nice. Just have some time for work, some for meditation, sync these times according. I'm not sure if that's what I meant, Fabio. I mean like in the moment, it's like you're kind of making things non-different in a way. So it's like as the music moves, like your energy body moves, and your body moves, and like your mind moves. I was just saying I find that like the vibing, like if you want a good vibe, that's a good vibe, I find.
I just focus on my blessings and the lessons she gave me. Such a powerful weapon when you're stressing like crazy. Plus in and out of sessions, I got brethren to save me. They'll come through in a second, so the question and bravery. I'll maneuver these waters like a vet from the Navy. MIA for weeks trying to get to my lady. From my slice of heaven, let no fella negate me. Strengthened by its essence, so I cherish it greatly. Its powers are a legend, I won't let it escape me. Without it, they'll break me. With it, I am amazing. They try to deaden my
Hey, Aaron. Sure. Non-dual Enlightenment is a spiritual attainment. So some people it's okay, I understand. Some people are interested in sort of like spirituality stuff. And there's like a thing that you can that can happen to you. There's a thing that can happen to you where which is called non-dual enlightenment. And it's usually seen as like a goal to get for a lot of people. So, like, there's like the path. What people call the path is like the path of spirituality. So let's say this is like reality. To begin with, like, reality is all like, you don't really understand it, you don't really know what's going on in your perception. Then as you gradually start to understand like how reality is, you start going through really insane, like, good and bad spiritual experiences. And you're like slowly filling in more and more detail into like this reality thing that you're like figuring out and understanding. You're like, oh, this is water, and this is like earth. You're slowly filling in detail, and you know this is like a crude image, but eventually you're filling in like, you know, like hyper detail. You're like, the grass here, and then like this is like a mountain. You can like zoom in on it. And then one day, non-dual enlightenment is when you realize that although you thought that you were a person who was like seeing, like feeling, and doing this process, you know, where you're like filling it in, it was actually like filling in itself. So you basically realize that there's never been a person who has been doing anything throughout your whole life. And it's like just another insight, but it marks like a permanent shift where you go from this sort of constant stable suffering, which is the suffering of like this falsehood, which makes you think that you're like a person doing stuff, to not having that. And then that's non-dual enlightenment. And it's called non-dual because like the idea of like a person like seeing something is a duality. So like in dual awareness, there's this idea that like in order to see something, there has to be a person that's seeing it. So like stuff that you see and like the person seeing it are like arising at the same time. But yeah, in a non-dual sort of mind or realization, these two things don't necessarily have to happen together. So like things can just arise without a person seeing it, like without the sensation of like a person who's like watching it also arising. Yeah. And it's not something that you like sustain, it's like an insight into reality, like how reality actually is. And kind of like when reality realizes something about how it is, it doesn't go back. Yeah. Hopefully that answered your question. We haven't meditated yet, Excel. We're still drawing the going live image. I'm still lost. You know what a duality is? No, it's not a method of creating a certain distance between a person and the perception of the world. The idea is basically that there's a lot of, it's like everything, like ordinary consciousness is full of dualities. So like in ordinary consciousness, it's like there's a perception of the world. There's the perception of the world, and there's a person. And like the idea is that whenever there's this perception of the world, there's also this person here. Yeah, this is a duality, so... Oh no, I need to change the title, so... but yeah. So, another duality, for example, would be like... I have to remember dualities. Anyway, we'll just stick with this one. There's like an observer who's like observing like things. This is like how things are normally. But the reality is that this sort of whole idea that there's like a thing observing stuff is an illusion. The reality is that like this can arise without this arising. Like you can have a perception of things without the idea of you being a person existing in your consciousness, and it's kind of like everything's happening by itself, you could say, without anyone like looking at it. So that actually ends up like freeing up a lot of energy, because there's like a lot of energy the brain's sort of expending on producing this false sort of like sensation or perception that there's like a thing observing stuff, when the reality is it's just the stuff all the time. So like a non-dual enlightenment is when you realize that it's always just been the stuff, and it's never been the duality. It's always been non-dual. So it's not a conceptual sort of understanding, although you can have one. It's not like you like figure something out and then all of a sudden, you know, that's it, you've got enlightenment. It's a sort of a shift from experience which is dual to experience which isn't dual. It's like your whole experience changes. And then you're kind of operating in a different way from that on. Your senses are operating in a different way. Before, when you were like seeing stuff, you had like a person who was like seeing stuff, and now sight is just kind of doing itself. It's such a weird experience today, it scared me so much, everything was so formless. That does sound scary, Hans. But it also sounds really normal. Have you heard of the formless jhanas? What was it like anyway? What was it like? I feel like everyone says that at some point, I don't know. I do daily long walks where I just keep surrendering. Yesterday I had the insight that I was made of the same stuff as they are around me. Sounds great so far. Today that escalated in weird, merging with the rest and the boundaries distorted, but in a creepy way they came back. That sounds amazing. That sounds like exactly what you want. I think you just got scared. Or was that again more airy and airy, like permanently? Damn it, Hans, you had it! You ruined it, you got scared. You're like, I think fear arose and then like presented the image of it being creepy. And then you were like, oh, it is creepy. That's so sad. No, the boundaries disappearing is good. No. Yeah, no, I completely understand though. No, it's completely normal to get scared. It's like, fear is kind of like the intermediary between your, like, You keep going? Hell yeah, dude. Fear is kind of like the intermediary between, like, the formless and the form. So... yeah. Maybe send some more love to fear and like the conditioned being that is Hans. Maybe they don't feel super comfortable or like trusting of entering formless realms yet. You would have been fine though. I just want to say that. And you know that, I think. It's just, yeah, there's parts of ourselves are not super aligned with the whole, like, disappearing into formlessness thing. They have a great quote from Hank Bo about this. Thanks, Panda. Didn't know I was looking bad. I just don't quite understand why it matters if it's something observing or not. It's just that it's an illusion, Shuddy, so it's like if you want... And it's like, it makes you suffer. Like, illusions are like suffering. So it's like, if you want to be free from suffering and like, not have illusions and like, see truth and, you know, dedicate your whole life to sort of doing that. And like, you know, not be able to have like a normal career or like normal relationships. You know, it's, you know, basically live life on hard mode. To free yourself from suffering and, you know, see through illusion. Then it matters. But if that's not your thing, then that's not your thing. I don't remember you, Panda, I'm sorry. I live a rich and varied life. I can't remember everyone. What was I gonna do? Hey, BDS. From Twitch? I'd have to see your name in the Twitch format, Panda, for me to remember. I just don't recognize your YouTube self. You're gonna read, thank you. Yeah, pretty much, Shuddy, that's about right. It's pink. I know. I'm kind of remembering a pink name. But not completely. Can you control F stuff here? Oh no. Yeah. Many people are afraid to empty their minds lest they may plunge into the void. They do not know that their own mind is the void. I always like that. It's like You think that you're like running into the void or whatever, but your mind's already void. It's like... That's really good. Love Hangpo. Yeah, me too, Hans. I find walking extremely good. Extremely good. Is there a book, document, PDF, website, do I recommend someone to understand the basis of non-dual enlightenment? Yeah, but it's pretty dense. I think MCTP is really good. Yeah, and you know, it's like it's got a foreword and a warning, and that's kind of for a reason. So definitely read that. It's like spiritual stuff. It's like you're literally changing everything about everything, and that can be very destabilizing and difficult. Even though it can be kind of fun too. Where did I start? Oh, you don't want to know. Yeah, just reading a spiritual book, basically, Aaron. Yeah, that's about the gist of it. Yeah, it's not a joke, Aaron. Check it out tomorrow. Yeah. I mean, I feel like unless you have like a very strong desire, you know, and you're taking it very seriously, it's like, don't get involved. There's a quote which is like, before you start, better not to start, but once started, better to finish. Yeah, you still have, I mean, eyes continue to exist, shoddy, but the idea that there's a you seeing through them, I think is questionable. Doesn't seem super right to me. That's just my personal view. But it's pretty fucking wild when you're experiencing it, shoddy. Like imagine you're like walking and then there's no one walking and your body's just kind of like walking itself and like going where it wants to go and thinking its own thoughts and stuff. Um mean, that sounds pretty great too, whatever that is, Shuddy. Feeling the world through the wind, seeing the world through your soul, that sounds great. Hey, life happens. Souls don't exist though. I agree with the Egyptian conception of the soul. You can check it out on Wikipedia if you're interested. Yeah, I think reading books without warnings in them, like Power of Now, it's a good way to get sucked into like a cult and or go through experiences that you can't understand in an unhealthy way. But I guess whatever calls to you. I mean, just bear in mind that like going through spiritual experiences is kind of like a door that you can open but you can't close. Once you go through, that's kind of it. And then you can see the outside world with things other than your eyes and imagination. I don't know, Shuddy. I've seen a bunch of people report stuff like being able to see, like with their eyes closed, being able to see the room. And I trust those people, so I think that's a thing. That can happen. Also, astral projection and like remote viewing seem very legit. That happened to me? Yeah, it happens to a few people, I think. My partner has it. Happened to her sometimes. I had it before, too. Like once. But I don't really focus on visuals that much. You can like travel to like whole different realms, Shoddy, which are like fully built and like created. And like have their own internal logic and stuff. If you do like astral projection, right? Why is there no proof of this? There probably is one. The scientific establishment isn't super open to stuff like this. I'm sure that when the world becomes a bit more open to this stuff being real, like the scientists or whatever, or even the scientists that already know about it will have established, you know, exactly what's going on and all this stuff. There's some organizations like the EEPRC that are doing research into these kind of phenomena. But they're trying to make like clinical like the spiritual experiences and how to deal with them and stuff. Yeah. I don't know, people say they can do like remote viewing, Shoddy. I believe them. so like they could see what's going on in another place. My friend can do that actually. He like gets like visuals of other people doing stuff, and then when he asks them about it, it's like they were actually doing that. Yeah, I'm not trying to convince anyone. It's just my day-to-day experience is full of stuff like this, and people who are able to do stuff like this. I mean, give it like 20-30 years. The scientific stuff is starting to be... Scientific and the spiritual is starting to meet a little bit now. Oh, that happened to you? Yeah, Excel, don't fucking recommend books where you have spiritual experiences that you don't like. This insect looks a lot more aggressive than I intended. Maybe I can give it some like love hearts here. Is that convincing for you guys? I have friends who can do telepathy as well. It's very raw. Looks pretty dope, not gonna lie. Or at least Brambrody likes it. I can like be sending love. Glad you like the drawing. How long have I been streaming for already? 42 minutes? Oh my god. We haven't even done the intro. As you know, XO, I feel like you should make an informed decision. I'm glad you like the drawing, Excel. See, everyone likes the drawing insectoid aliens that tell me not to draw it. Jeez. Let's do a warm-up 5-minute meditation. We will do a longer one after. Need a reference. Need a reference. This is a good one. No, I don't like that. I prefer like this. I guess they do like doing this, huh? I guess we'll like link it up. Well, this feels good already. I like this. And there's like a thing down here and a curl. And what the hell is this? There's like a curve here. Oh, okay. I get it now. I see, I see. Alright, now from memory. I think the connectivity of it actually matters. Yeah, it feels way better like that, but damn. Maybe the connectivity of the eye matters too. Oh, I think it does. Interesting. But it's so chill, I like that. Glad you like it. I feel pretty stressed. Oop, fuck me. Alright, 5-minute meditation. For a way to contemplate the Eye of Horus if that's in your interests. You may be benefited or aided by Egyptian deities. They're very powerful. So, don't do it if you don't want that to happen. Just needs to be smooth. Oh, no, this thickness is too much. God damn it. The life of an artist. That's better. We're really close. Okay. Oh, no, I fucking ruined it. It's just this bit. There we go. Okay. That's good enough. Alright, 5-minute meditation, everyone. Let's relax a bit. Ooh. Okay. Makes sense. Thank you to any beings that benefit us. Whew. That was a cheeky 5 minutes. Okay, everyone. I feel like I'm gonna stop streaming soonish. Yeah, that was a fast 5 minutes. Is that happening when you're gone for a few days? You look more happy, like your energy is a lot better, more alive, but at the same time more grounded. I don't know if that makes sense. Well, I did get basically energy fucked in like a good way by coalition of insect entities for like 24 hours. But also, I do sessions with for 2 hours a week. I do sessions for like 2 hours a week with a with someone, and he helps me a lot too. And also, like, you know, I'm just going through big stuff every day anyway. It's like last night I had like mind and reality merge in a new way, and a bunch of energy stuff happened. Pretty sure I had sex with a insectoid entity in my dream. So I don't know. Looking more happy, like my energy is a lot better, more alive, at the same time more grounded, feels very, like, yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like that's happening all the time. I think it's just like a few days break was maybe, you know, it's like, you're not, you know, you're seeing it very suddenly instead of gradually. Yeah. Question, yeah. Yes. Always makes you wonder when someone says question before asking the question. Like, what's gonna happen? Yeah, reality manifests problems everywhere, all the time, in every way, to teach you lessons. This is what reality does, is... It's like a lesson generator. Like, my answer is like, yeah, and also it manifests them everywhere else too. In my view, it's like the universe is always sort of communicating what's happening. And it's just about tuning into that aspect of your reality that's always happening. Maybe because there's a smell problem in my house, really amplified my dark night. My new home, the same happened the last months. Two big smell problems which really annoyed me, amplified my dark night. Perhaps really suffering from that night if it change. Yeah, I mean that definitely feels like, you know, something that was meant to happen rather than something which like randomly happened. Yeah, I really feel like that. It's like yeah, you're kind of given. No, it doesn't sound stupid at all. It's like that's very normal for me. It's like, you know, you're kind of given. You're given a reality, and you kind of have to deal with it. It's like life's always giving you sort of things to figure out and work with. Whoa. What did the Yu-Gi-Oh eyes look like? Yeah, this is where I got the weird, yeah, this thing from. What are those Millennium items? Look at that. Interesting. Yeah, suffering is one of the three marks of existence hands. It's a really good one. It's like, oh yeah, suffering's all the time. I mean, you say basic suffering insight, but like, you know, it's like that's suffering is one of the three marks of existence, and it's like you can always refine your insight into like those you know fundamental truths, I would say, rather than basic. It's like I got a suffering insight recently, which is like, oh shit, like avoiding suffering is also suffering, and it's like there's not much point avoiding suffering that much. You know, like I was kind of attached to suffering, so like basic insights into the three characteristics of suffering, no self, and impermanence are like, that's like the bread and butter of insight practice. So I feel like that's actually, you know, that's a really good one that like the universe gave you in some way. A00. Hi Bill. It's your Instagram DM. I was gonna get around to it sometime later. I'm so busy. Do you have any tips for surrender? Yeah, I think that it's important to have friendly communications between the conditioned being or conditioned parts of yourself that aren't willing to surrender, and the sort of loving, open, truth-seeking parts of yourself that do want to surrender. And it's like creating a good relationship between those parts makes it easier for the whole system to have a shift. So I think the best, you know, an example of that would be when you feel fear, sort of accepting the fear as it is, sort of welcoming it, and being like, you know, I'm happy that you're here, and I appreciate you, and I'm grateful for you, and just like giving it love. It's like, I don't hate you or want to get rid of you or want you to go away or don't accept you. Like I appreciate you, and I like love you. In my experience, that's pretty useful. Another thing is, it's like if you can generate enough like courage and bravery and like willingness and desire and momentum and intention, then fear will be so impressed that it just won't even try and stop you anymore. It'd be like, oh shit, like this guy knows what he's doing, and I trust him with whatever he wants to do. Like, oh, it's like he knows that he's gonna die, and he's still doing it anyway. Like, he's diving into this fear, and diving into it, and sort of like giving it, like being kind of heroic. Then fear kind of like is like, oh, okay, like maybe he knows what he's doing. Like I'm gonna let this happen more. So You could try, yeah, really committing to that part of yourself that just wants it to happen. And knows that it's gonna be okay and is brave and heroic. And like wants enlightenment at any cost and is willing to die for it. That's a good one. Ooh. You're very wise. Wait till I get really wise, brother. I said nothing yet. Only 26. Your boy's gonna get so wise. Powerful, thank you, never heard of him. Yeah, I can. Another thing that helps is like really clarifying what you want, like really coming to terms with it in yourself. It's like, wow, do I really want truth? Like, even if I'm gonna die, it's like, is that really something that I want? Like, how much do I want that? Like really examining your commitment, super useful. Like, am I really ready to commit my life for the benefit of all beings? And if you do feel like you are, it's like writing some vows or like saying out loud that you do commit that. Like really, like letting the universe know that like you really do commit and you're really serious about it. That really helps. If you send out intentions like that to the universe, then the universe kind of listens. You could also ask like deities for help. You're like, I need help in like surrendering or connecting with truth more. It's like, can you guide me or help me towards that? And letting like whatever wants to happen happen. Suggestion of choosing a deity. I would feel into your heart. Your heart chakra. And kind of ask it if it wants to guide you somewhere. Like if it wants to connect you with something. You know, if you get like a random, you know, supposed like random thought where you're like, oh, I like suddenly feel like checking out this Wikipedia page, or something. It's like just sort of following that thread and being open to like maybe being guided to something which is useful. It's like kind of just like having like a casual sort of look around for a deity that you resonate with. And then sort of allowing it to unfold naturally with whatever one might show up in your perception as something that you connect with. And that can happen in a bunch of different ways. It's like, you could just like be browsing Wikipedia and then you like see a certain name and you're like, oh, this name's like weirdly interesting to me. Generally, you know, any kind of indicator like that, it's like that's that shows that sort of like the deity might resonate with you. Yeah, praying to find truth in God, and then you get enlightenment. That sounds right. Or it's like, you know, if you look at your life, it's like, oh, like I've always been kind of interested in Egypt. It's like, oh, well, maybe you have a relationship to a deity from a past life or something that is drawing you there. Maybe you have a relationship with a deity right now that's sort of indicating to you that it wants to talk to you. Just sort of being open to receiving, like building a relationship, you know, it's like with a person. It's the same way as with a person. It's like building a mutually, you know, a relationship where you're both interested in sort of, you know, giving things to each other freely and benefiting each other. Being open to being guided or led to stuff by something. And trusting your intuition, right? Trusting your heart, trusting your intuition, trusting like these parts of you that are less conceptual and intellectual and more sort of grounded in truth, even if it's not conceptual. Like golden rule, sort of asking if this is like a path that your heart agrees with, and then if it is, then doing it, and if it isn't, then not doing it. Like, do I really feel in my heart that this is like what I want? And if the answer is no, don't do it. If the answer is yes, then do it. Any advice on seeing emptiness? I guess I'm not sure what you mean by that. Oh well. I guess, yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by emptiness. I mean, like, you know, what do you mean? You don't know? Well, I don't know. I guess I'd have to know what emptiness is. I mean, like, getting insight into reality. Yeah, there's good ways to do that. Being like, I don't know, having like a trippy experience or something, I don't know. You could examine the boundaries between things. That's always a good one. It's like, where is actually the distinction between this thing and this other thing? Like, is there a boundary here? Like, is there actually a difference between these things? How do these things, like, connect? Are they even connected? Like, what's going on here? Sort of questioning if things are actually boundaried or not. That's a pretty good way to... Like, is this... Like, is that actually different from that? Like, that isn't...
That old light, if you can't see, baby, just hold tight. We're gonna rise and shine and rock it till the night. What's the forecast? Art gets overshadowed by more cash. Horse flash ass like the sun flash light. I got planets, galaxies, moons in my past life. The sun put my ass right back on the wall. Waking up, y'all, sleepers be rocking until the nightfall. Gonna shine, doing it. Now it's my turn. Living what other profit could I earn? Microphone play the ozone. I shine through it and burn people on the street till they learn respect for the light provider. Solar system rhythm rider. You can't hear but only feel my beat just like heat. We produce this, use this and never lose this until the sun burn out. How will the world turn out? Only traces of the days are old. I got ways to mold, solidify shit to liquid. While these brothers yapping about gold chains, we rise, then set it off wild.
Thanks.
Like
Oh well.
chains that you came and I'll be here when you're gone. And won't even show my face until the break of dawn. It's like hold light. If you can't see my man, just hold tight. We gonna rise and shine and rock it till the night. That old light. If you can't see, baby, just hold tight. We gonna rise and shine and rock it till the night.
Ooh. It's hard.
93 million miles, 3 rocks away, live from the planet Earth today. We gon' shine, that's right, we gon' shine. I said 93 million miles, 3 rocks away, live from the planet Earth today. We gon' shine, that's right, we gon' shine. Come on.
I might have to graduate to Photoshop soon, but I like Paint. Like coloring and stuff. It's like when you use the fill tool on Paint, it's like I just want Paint with a good fill tool. Is that too much to ask? It's like I click fill and then it doesn't. You know what I mean? I think it might be too much to ask. Oh, I like that. Nah. You'd ask that for every one of my drawings, so I like this. There we go. Don't like that. Like that. I like that. Hey, Gan died. We're just about to end. Range text level, thanks. Oh jeez, Ross. Yeah, room. Thank you for watching. Thank you for asking questions. Thank you for being with me. I'm back again tomorrow.